So for this demonstration, we're going to start by creating a service request by logging into Tririga. We're going to be using a liaison role, which would basically be the FODLs or the park supervisors would have this type of access. So we're going to log into Tririga. Notice there's just one tab up top. It's your home tab, and this is Request Central. So this is where you'll be submitting your request from. We'll keep this simple. We're going to do an electrical and lighting, and we're going to say that there's a light bulb out in one of the buildings. So let's take a look at what we have. So buildings. If it has a little red asterisk, that means it's a required field. There's two ways to do this. All the way to the right here, under Select Buildings, you can click the magnifying glass, and that's going to give you all the different buildings that we have available here. The other way to do it, if you know where you're working and you've been doing it for a while, you can just type the first few letters to give a little bit of a drop-down menu. It weeds out some of the other locations, and you can pick which one you have. So you have the Lake Park Bathhouse is the one we're going to be using for our example here. So we're going to go to the floor, go to our drop-down select floor. We're going to do the first floor. I'm going to click the little radio button on the side. That's how we're going to select it, and then click OK. Room, this isn't always populated, and as you can see, no data display. There's no information in there as far as the rooms go. Again, like I said, we're doing a light bulb. So down here under service request, we're going to go down to light bulb. And we're going to click the radio button on the left. Make sure it's selected, and we're going to give it a little bit of a description as well. So we're going to say light bulb above sink is out. Please replace. Again, this description, you can put anything in there. Once that's all set, we check everything, make sure everything's selected, and we click Submit. As the first step, we have now created our first work request, which will have to be approved in the next step. So for this next step, to approve the request, we're going to log in as a manager. So I'll have full access to all the menus, as you will see here. As you can see up top, Home, My Reports, there's a lot more selections as far as what I can do in the system. So we just did a work request. So it's actually sitting now under my notices as a pending approval. So we're going to click the pending approvals. And as we remember, we did the Lake Bathhouse, so it's the second one here. So we'll select it and then click Approve. That's it. That request has now been approved, and we'll move into the next step, which would be a work task. So now we're going to take a look at the work task we just created, and we're going to look at some of the options we have in that. So if we come to our menu, this is our unassigned tasks. This is everything that we have in our menu that has not been assigned yet. So the first thing we have to do is assign it. So let's first start by going to Lake, like we did earlier. We're going to sort through all the buildings and come up to Lake Park Bathhouse, and if you notice, that is the light bulb that we just requested. So let's take a look at that request. Now this request opens up in a new window, and this is where we're going to do all of our work. So if you're the technician or the manager, this is where a lot of the information is going to be. So resource, this is where we assign our tasks. Okay, so we'll come down to resources, and we'll actually pick a person on Define People. And we can pick who we want to assign that task to. We would select it, and you can assign it to multiple people. You'd select the person you want to assign it to, and then click OK. So once the work task is assigned, it'll show up under an active task under your window. And we're just going to take a look at a random one here. When we click it open, there's two tabs that we really look at as far as technicians and the service managers. The work task info, this is where the technician will enter the description of the work they did and post the time as far as what they've done and the work they've done. That has to be done, that's mandatory, and they will save and close it, or they can mark it as complete. The other option we have is under work details. We can actually capture a lot of the root cause for some analysis later on. We do that by clicking on the Work Analysis tab down bottom here. So under Work Analysis, we're going to add a root cause. So we do that by clicking Add. Under Name, we're going to put the name of the location. So we'll call it Bathhouse. And for failures, there's different options here. So again, we select the magnifying glass on the right-hand side, and it gives you all the different failure options. So pick what is best there. And if one of them doesn't fit, you can just leave it blank. Problem, what happened? Acceptable, defective, deteriorated, inoperable, leaks. So there's a whole bunch of different selections there as well. Cause, what caused it? Accident, environment, some faulty maintenance, lubrication failures. There's all kinds of different things. So this is a great tool, the root cause, and that data will actually be captured as well for all the work tasks, and that'll help us for future analysis on what some of those root causes may be. Once they're done, they'll mark the work task as completed, and it'll move into the completed status, in which case the manager can look into it and actually close that work task. Thank you for taking the time to view this presentation, and hopefully give you a good feeling on how the system is going to be navigated and we'll be using here at DCR. Thank you.